Had to get a couple burps out there before I took to the record button on this one. But anyway, this is Jason here within the Simpademic Friday Night Edition, and I am here to talk about a particular movement that's out there amongst certain men, and it's called the Passport Bros movement. And what is the Passport Bros movement? It is a movement of men, of single men who have decided to seek a wife overseas, outside of the country, and because they have deemed that the American dating scene is too, for lack of a better word, too much of a dumpster fire. And that's probably an insult to the dumpster fires, but it kind of is what it is. And so they are looking for women who are friendly, kind, traditional, willing to respect and follow a man's lead as traditions and biblical concepts lead to. They're looking for women who will treat them the way that with the respect that they probably should be. And I know what the feminist women have to say about this is that, they're going out there looking for somebody who's going to depend on them, and they're going to find somebody who just wants that passport and visa to come back to the United States. I've not seen that materialize particularly where they're coming back to the United States with their women. A lot of them stay there, and particularly in certain countries, I know that a lot of the countries that are magnets for the passport bros tend to be in Southeastern Asia. So countries like the Philippines, on occasion you can even see Vietnam get mentioned in there. You don't see Japan or South Korea in there because a lot of that scene is more Western in nature. And so a lot of people are less traditional in those countries than they used to be. But another one that comes up on occasion are the Baltic states of Eastern Europe. And I can completely see why that would be an attractive place. It's a very highly English-speaking region. It is also a very economically well-developed region. And, if you're a passport bro and if you have the ability to and the skills to pull in a good income, those are great places to do it. And so because they have Western infrastructure, but a lot of the women still are of a traditional nature. Example, I went to a women's professional bowling event in Minnesota. I met two women from that particular region. One of them is a Pole, and the other one is a Latvian. And the Pole is in a committed relationship. The Latvian is a newlywed. And these are the purest, kindest women I think I've ever met. And if I didn't already know their situations, I would have thought that they were, hitting on me. But the friendliness of these women from more traditional countries is just, it's mind-blowing. If you get a chance to meet one in person, it is astounding with the kindness, joy, and respect that they have in their lives. And it's the likes of which very few women in the U.S. have. And I'll tell you what, it was enough to make my heart flutter a little bit, because men in the U.S. are not used to being treated like this. I'm sure that these ladies run into this all the time when they're bowling across the United States. And so this is why passport bros are doing what they're doing. And especially if they're high skilled, relatively strong earners in the United States, it's even more truthful because the cost of living in these countries is a lot less. And their ability to earn even remotely with an American company is, if they have that luxury, then that's even better. Because if they'd be making a U.S. salary with Eastern European or African or Southeast Asian living expenses, they actually economically could come out ahead in the bargain as well. And I mean, I would say that, I think as I understand it, the Philippines actually has a higher percentage of English speakers than the United States does. And, they're like, the women and the feminists in the U.S. just say, oh, they're just going after a woman that they can control, or a woman that they can manipulate, or a woman that they can. No. A lot of these women, especially in the Eastern European side, are very intelligent. They're very, very, they can be very vocal, but they're also, very caring people who, in the case of the Polish bowler, things do affect her a little bit, especially when it comes to, social media and criticism and things like that. But that's because these people just simply care about others a lot more. And I can see why it would tear them up. It's not a very hard connection to make. And so these, these are more traditional women, and that's why these places are magnets. The other thing I will say to this is, do you see any men from any of these countries coming to the West to find a woman? Absolutely not. It doesn't happen. There are not any of these men coming over to the United States or North America or the West to find a wife, because they have it good where they are. They're going to be able to find somebody who is traditional, friendly, feminine, and submissive. And this is where women think where U.S. women think that it's controlling, but it's not. I mean, women do that voluntarily, because they're raised that is the way that they need to function in these countries, and that is the draw. So, very simply here, it's just the Passport Bros movement in a nutshell. I don't plan on joining them, because I have reacted to this in a different way, in that I just simply don't pursue anymore. And there's no reason to pursue a lot of these women that are in the United States, because if I approach them, I'll get accused, get called a creep, get accused of harassment for things that I didn't even do. And so this is why I've basically just opted to quit trying entirely. But I support them. I applaud them. I really hope that it turns out well for these men who are seeking true love with a pure traditional woman internationally. And so anyway, this is Jason with End the Simpademic. These men are the exact opposite of simps, by the way. They are men who know what they want, and they're willing to act upon it, and they know their value. Simps don't do those things. They will grovel and put women on pedestals. So anyway, that's why I applaud these men who are willing to put the money where their mouth is, quite literally, in traveling overseas to find their future spouse. So that is it, and I will see you all tomorrow at some point. I'm not entirely sure what time of day I'm going to be out there. I'm taking my teenage daughter actually on a little bit of a road trip to a candy shop in Minnesota. It's basically called Minnesota's largest candy shop. It's southwest of the Twin Cities Metro, other side of the world from where I live. But anyway, I will see you all at some point tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.